All right, we got a tornado warning as of 9:11 a.m. on this Thursday, May 29th. New tornado warning. If you're in Saraland, take shelter now. This is now an observed tornado as of a moment ago. And we're watching this situation in Mobile County, about to go live over on Facebook as well. Thanks for joining us. If you are on Twitter or YouTube, there we go. And Matt, if you will, let me show you that in just a second. Again, Saraland Orchard, areas just to the east of Sims. You need to be in your tornado safe place now, as we have a possible tornado. This is actually now a confirmed tornado. We believe it's a radar confirmed tornado, although we'll look at that in just a moment. Yeah, and the Weather Service is calling this now an observed tornado in Mobile County, as we have a tornado right in through here, just near the US Highway 98 corridor to the west of Mobile. So Matt, I'm going to go live and then I'll toss it back to you for this control.
Live from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
Got a tornado warning until 9:45 a.m. for parts of Mobile County. This is now a confirmed tornado on the ground doing damage, coming into areas near Saraland in Mobile County. Saraland, Alabama, you need to seek shelter now, as we have a possible tornado coming in from the southwest. And I say possible tornado, I'm so used to saying that. This is now a confirmed, observed tornado on the ground doing damage in parts of Mobile County. And so the first thing we need to do is tell you exactly who is involved in this new tornado warning that's on the board until 9:45. So we've got about 30 more minutes of this over the next several minutes here in central Mobile County. And if you are in this red polygon, you're involved in the tornado warning. And it's on the board until 9:45. This does technically include the campus of the University of South Alabama over the next few minutes: Orchard, Pritchard, Saraland, Satsuma. And this is going to come up on the University of Mobile campus over the next few minutes. So it can't be stressed enough, on the campus of the University of Mobile, be sheltered, as we have a possible tornado, a confirmed tornado now, coming in from the southwest. The Weather Service continues to call this an observed tornado, and this is a deal that we could have a tornado on the ground still at this point, pushing off to the northwest. This does not include downtown Mobile. So if you're in Mobile, officially downtown Mobile, this is not for you. And we're getting a new severe thunderstorm warning as well that includes much of Baldwin County, but Pritchard up here to Satsuma. No travel right now on Interstate 65, as we do have this tornado coming in. And Matt, what I'm going to do is change the radar product here so we can see exactly what the Weather Service is seeing in terms that of what they saw to call this an observed tornado. And it looks like we are kind of hung up on the reflectivity product. Tell you what, if you will, go over to LD2, please, sir. And I want to see this exact product. There we go. There it is. There's your tornado. So it doesn't look like much, but right there is a tornado on the ground doing damage. So this is coming right up on the campus of the University of Mobile. This is now a confirmed tornado, and it's moving just like that. So on that trajectory, it cannot be stressed enough. If you are on the campus of the University of Mobile, you need to be sheltered now. And same thing at Pritchard. If you're at Pritchard, you need to be sheltered now, as we have this tornado. It flared up and now it's kind of cycling back down, but these things cycle. They come and they go. And so it can't be stressed enough. Be in a safe place now, right now. If you're at Pritchard, Same thing on the campus of the University of Mobile and Saraland near Highway 43 in Mobile County. We're getting a report now that we had a spotter in the area who also likely saw the tornado when it was on the ground. And that would kind of insinuate that it's lifted, but nonetheless, we know this tornado was on the ground a moment ago, and it can't be stressed enough. If you're in Pritchard or areas near the campus of the University of Mobile, be in a safe place. I can tell you that with this look, this has passed the campus of South Alabama. So the campus of South Alabama is okay right now, and this is clearly going to be an issue up here toward Pritchard and the University of Mobile campus. And so we encourage folks, if you're on campus at the University of Mobile, we've actually got a graduate of the University of Mobile. Are they in session this summer? I'm assuming so. Yeah. So if you know anyone on the campus of the University of Mobile, and that includes you too, you call them, you text them, you tag them, and let them know that we have a confirmed tornado in that vicinity over the next few minutes. This is going to pass well to the north of downtown Mobile and midtown Mobile. This tornado warning does not include midtown or downtown. It also does not include any part of Interstate 10. But this does include a part of Interstate 65 from basically Creola back down to, say, the Spring Hill exit of Interstate 65. And so we encourage you to not travel at this point on Interstate 65, let's just say to be safe, from the Dolly Parton Bridge all the way back down to Mobile. You can't be traveling right now as we have this confirmed tornado doing damage at this point in the vicinity of the campus of the University of Mobile. And I'll be honest with you, that signature has broadened out somewhat, but it's cycling, no doubt. Really right at 8 Mile coming into Chickasaw as well. This now possible tornado continues to push off to the east. Tell you what, Matt, let's go back over to LD1, and I want to do a reset across the region because we're waking up earlier, when we were waking up, I should say, we had these scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now we're seeing a few severe storms. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 10 o'clock for much of Baldwin County that includes all of the eastern shore. That's a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning. The tornado warning is here on the north side of the Mobile Metro, including Pritchard, Saraland, and Satsuma. And I suspect that tornado warning is probably going to be allowed to expire in a bit. But nonetheless, for the next few minutes, we need folks near Saraland and Satsuma, along with Pritchard, to be in your tornado safe place at this point. Matt, let's go back over to LD2, and we'll look at this updated polygon information. Yeah, the Weather Service kind of bumped it back down to be a possible tornado, as it looks like the signature has broadened out somewhat. If you'll stick on that source, I want to go over to, let's see if we can go instead to our correlation coefficient product. Basically what that does is allow us to see debris that's been lofted into the sky. I do not see any debris that's been lofted at this point, but there was a weak debris signature a short time ago. And so again, we're tracking a possible tornado on the north side of the Mobile Metro. Back over to LD1, please. And again, Saraland campus of University of Mobile, 8 Mile and Pritchard and Satsuma. You need to stay sheltered. Let me click on this and see if the Weather Service included, they technically did include a part of Baldwin County, although that's kind of out up there over the Mobile-Tensas River Delta. This is Baldwin County technically, but all of your population, major population, is here near Interstate 65. So technically that may include, the warning may include areas near, say, the River Pub, and let's see, right in through here, just to the west of the highway there in western Baldwin County. Don't think that's really, I don't think the tornado is going to make it that far, but again, it's cycling, it may. So as a course of least regret, Weather Service did include Baldwin County, but again, let me not get so caught up on the fringe stuff. Let's focus on our key message, which is that folks near the campus of the University of Mobile, Chickasaw, and Pritchard stay sheltered over the next few minutes. This is not going to be a deal that lasts very long, but we got to stay sheltered, I should say, in those areas. Downtown Mobile, you're fine. Yes, the weather's horrible, cats and dogs, raining, but you're fine right now. In downtown Mobile, Navco, Midtown, basically I-10 and points south. You are fine right now in terms of an imminent tornado threat. Yes, there are strong to severe storms moving through, but your tornado threat is way up here on the north side of the Mobile Metro. Strong storms extend down to Dauphin Island along DIP. These are going to cross Mobile Bay and enter the eastern shore over the next few minutes. But your tornado warning is up here, basically from Pritchard to near Satsuma and Creola along with Saraland. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and focus on our tornado warning. Getting a word from the Weather Service that they're also watching an area of disturbed weather in that squall line that will be coming into Baldwin County. We'll look at that in just a moment, but I really want to zoom in on this tornado warned storm. And if you'll watch those Facebook comments, I have not seen anything in the way of damage, but that does not mean that damage hasn't happened. In fact, I suspect when this was down on the ground several minutes ago, it was doing some damage. The question is, how severe was that damage? And at this point, we simply do not have the answer to that question, but that's something that we'll be looking at over the next little bit. But the imminent danger zone, if we can go over to our velocity source, in fact, take me back over to LD2, this shows it a little bit better. If there is a tornado down, and it's questionable at this point based on the signature, it would clearly be right in through here on the north side of Chickasaw and really the north side of Pritchard as well, coming out like this into the Mobile-Tensaw River Delta. So again, it's a weaker signature, and it very well may be not producing a tornado right now, but with this tornado warning in effect, we certainly want folks in 8 Mile and Pritchard specifically to be in a safe place. The lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors. Matt, if you'll go over to the graphics system, please. For folks in Pritchard, this is what you need to be doing right now. Helmets on, tornado helmets on. The best possible thing on this list is to protect your head. That greatly increases your chance of surviving a tornado. If you can get underground, that's great. You don't have to be underground to survive a tornado, but that's the best possible place to be. Take a screenshot of this if you don't already have one, as this list could potentially save your life in a tornadic situation. Back over to LD2, please, sir. And we'll look at this on velocity. Yeah, it's kind of not there at this point, which is good. That's what we want to see. But the tornado warning remains in effect for the next few minutes. And I really like that the Weather Service kind of maintains these warnings even after the signature has gone away, because that gives us some buffer room. If there's another tornado in that same specific zone that develops, they don't have to reissue a warning. So it really is a good thing that they choose to do that. Let's go back to reflectivity, and I want to shift down here to the southern side of the squall line, because that is where the Weather Service is indicating, yeah, there's some rotation in through here. So I'm just telling you, there may be a tornado developing out over Mobile Bay, and the Weather Service may be forced to issue a tornado warning for parts of Baldwin County as well. We also note there's a separate circulation right here. So these are some embedded circulations in this line of strong to severe thunderstorms, and these will be pushing toward the eastern shore over the next few minutes. And so just be aware, you may get a tornado warning shortly in parts of Baldwin County. In fact, if you are in Baldwin County, what I would tell you is go ahead and text your folks if they're near Point Clear, Fairhope, Daphne, Montrose. You need to let them know that they could get a tornado warning shortly as well. These signatures are actually a little bit better than, or more significant, I should say, than the one currently affecting land areas up here in Mobile County. So Matt, let's go back over to LD1. Yeah, and they're sending another message in our NWS chat source. So we're gonna hang with it here. Possible tornado near Saraland has really lost its strength at this point. Same thing on the north side of Pritchard. The Weather Service is maintaining this tornado warning that expires at 9:45 a.m. but I suspect they may cancel it a bit early. And I do think at this point it's prudent to go ahead and give an all clear to the community of 8 Mile. If you're at 8 Mile, we can clearly go ahead and give you an all clear. Same thing at the University of Mobile. The circulation is down here on the southern side of this polygon, pushing just like that. It's about to be out over the river and the Mobile-Tensas River Delta. And so what I would tell you is, if I'm in Chickasaw or Pritchard or Saraland as a course of least regret, I would hang out in my tornado safe place. But 8 Mile specifically and the campus of the University of Mobile, I'll give you a tornado all clear. The threat has clearly now shifted to your southeast. So you're looking now at our watch warning map, and this gives us a good idea of exactly who's involved in the severe thunderstorm warning that extends from Bay Minette back down to basically Orange Beach and Gulf Shores in Baldwin County. You are technically involved in this severe thunderstorm warning that's on the board, I believe, until, that one's also in effect until 9:45. And so severe thunderstorm warning continues for much of Mobile and Baldwin counties, basically from DIP over to Baldwin County, basically over to Alabama Highway 59 is kind of the eastern periphery of that polygon. We'll turn on the radar data here. In fact, Matt, if you'll go back over to LD1, please. Again, watching these two circulations in this severe thunderstorm warning out over Mobile Bay that are coming into Baldwin County. Let's go to this secondary source, please. Thank you. And we're really going to have to watch this part of the line of storms as it comes into the eastern shore over the next few minutes, because there are multiple rotation areas. It is a lot easier to get rotation out over the bay and the water than it is on land areas due to land friction. And so there's a chance that we get a quick tornado coming on shore that then dissipates. Of course, with these things cycling up and down, however, we certainly will need to watch these as they may persist a bit longer than you would think. And so we're going to keep watching these storms. Back over to LD1, Matt. Let's zoom in on our tornado warning that we're covering here in Mobile County. And let's go back to velocity. Yeah, it's just collapsed. So that is awesome news, great news, in that the tornado has pretty much gone away at this point in northern Mobile County. Now again, our friends at the Weather Service, they're going to keep this tornado warning going over the next few minutes as they want to make sure that it doesn't redevelop. If there's a tornado, and I really do not believe there is at this point, it would be right in here on the north side of Pritchard. And it's going to be coming out over the Mobile-Tensas River Delta over the next few minutes. If it's not there already. These storms are moving very quickly. You know, radar is a bit delayed. The radar scans the data in the atmosphere, but then it has to be disseminated or sent out. And we get the data about a minute or two after the National Weather Service. They have access to the actual radar at the Mobile Regional Airport. But again, this is probably now out over the river delta at this point. And I suspect the Weather Service will cancel this ongoing tornado warning. But as a course of least regret, y'all know the long-time policy around here, if you're in a tornado warning, you respect it, you do something about it, and you take action when you're involved in one. And so with that said, Pritchard and areas near Saraland and Satsuma, just as a course of least regret, I would stay sheltered. We're about to get, we don't have yet, but we're about to get a new tornado warning. And this is going to be for parts of Baldwin County. And so Matt, if you'll take me back over to LD2, this is going to, if you'll put me up on the wall for a bit, because again, we're getting a new tornado warning shortly for Baldwin County. And so heads up, this is likely going to include Fairhope. So Fairhope and Montrose, let me look at that. And yeah, there it is. This is a big tornado warning. So this is a new tornado warning. And again, this is going to include Fairhope. This also is going to include Daphne. And this is going to be on the board until 10:15. So tornado warning now for Baldwin County until 10:15 a.m. and we actually have multiple circulations in through here that could be doing damage, and so are about to do damage as they come on shore from Mobile Bay. So the first thing we need to do is tell you exactly who's involved in this new tornado warning that's in effect for much of Baldwin County, Alabama. Daphne is in Spanish Fort, Bell Forest, areas near Fairhope, Weeks Bay, Magnolia Springs. You are in. Same thing in Foley, same thing in Summerdale, Robertsdale, Loxley. Tornado warning for you now until 10:15 a.m. Possible tornadoes, multiple out over Mobile Bay, coming in from the west. And so this is a tornado warning now for Baldwin County. We're also watching this separate tornado warning in progress for northern Mobile County that probably will be canceled over the next little bit. Let's go back over to LD1, please, sir. And I want to show you the tornado warning polygon. So I realize I called out some of the communities that are involved in this tornado warning, but I want to call out a few more before we continue, as it's important to be aware of exactly who is involved in the tornado warning. So if I call you out, you're in this tornado warning. Again, Daphne, Montrose, Fairhope, Weeks Bay, Point Clear, Clay City, Marlow. You've also got Magnolia Springs, Foley, Summerdale, Robertsdale, Silver Hill, Loxley. You've also got areas near Holly Hills, Bell Forest, Malbus. Also areas near Elsinore and Alberta are involved in this tornado warning polygon. So again, just to kind of zoom in and get your geographical bearings straight, anybody involved in this big red zone right in through here, that's the tornado warning. And it's in effect until 10:15 a.m. And so what you do right now in Baldwin County, if you'll go over to the graphics and set me up briefly on the wall, again, for folks in the communities that I just called out, Daphne, Fairhope, Montrose, Malbus, Loxley, Silver Hill, Elsinore, Foley, Alberta. Lowest floor, site-built structure away from windows and doors. You want to put on a tornado helmet. That's for adults and kids too. Make it happen now if you're in Baldwin County. These could be multiple tornadoes coming in from Mobile Bay. This isn't going to last very long, so please take it seriously and just know these could be damaging storms for some parts of these communities. This is not going to be most likely a big bad tornado, but if a tornado affects your house, it's a big deal, and you want to have a helmet on now. Let's go back over to LB1 and show you the live radar view of what's happening now. And there's our watch warning map. Let's turn on the radar data so that you can see exactly what we have going on in terms of the storm coming in from Mobile Bay. This cell coming into Daphne is particularly nasty. Matt, if you'll go over to LD2, I want to zoom in on this specific spot. That is a large mesocyclone right in through here coming into Montrose. And so folks in Montrose and Daphne and Fairhope, you really need to take shelter as this could be potentially a tornado that is perhaps a bit sizable as it comes on shore. No doubt there's rotation coming into this area. And I would stress, don't try to see this thing, all right? Do not try to sightsee. Don't try to go outside and get a picture. That's human nature. I get it. But in this case, this could be a quick hitting tornado that comes on shore very quickly. So again, folks in Fairhope up to Daphne, be in a safe place. From that Target and Chick-fil-A on US Highway 98, back down to downtown Fairhope, which includes all of Montrose. You need to be in your tornado safe place now as we have a possible tornado coming in from Mobile Bay. And if you know anyone in Daphne or Fairhope or areas near Montrose, you get sheltered. You call them now and tell them to get sheltered. Just checking a few messages as to what we've got going on. Matt, if you'll go back over to LD1, please, sir. Thank you. Let's show you a wide view of what's happening across the region. If you're in Northwest Florida, you're wondering what in the world is all this about. Northwest Florida has been fairly quiet over the last several hours. There was some rain that moved through this morning around 3 or 4 o'clock, but For now, northwest Florida is quiet. Same thing across inland areas of southwest Alabama, Brewton, Thomasville, Monroeville, Evergreen, Greenville, Chatham, Andalusia. All those areas are having rain at times. This is simply rain. The issues here are in coastal Alabama, specifically near Mobile Bay. And we've got wind damage along with a tornado being possible now coming into Fairhope and Montrose. So again, Fairhope and Montrose, you need to be in that safe place now. And really this includes all of Fairhope, Alabama. Really the entirety of it. Just to kind of get your geography straight here, this is Scenic Highway 98 here. This is US Highway 98. This is Alabama Highway 104. Montrose is here. The Target, Chick-fil-A, Taziki's right there at Daphne, right in through here. You go down a bit, you get to Fairhope. This is downtown Fairhope right here. The Fairhope Walmart is out on 181 right in through here. And so near all those places that I just called out, near the new Publix, be in a safe place. Possible tornado coming in from the west now. And it could be a damaging storm that could adversely impact you if you're in those areas. And so we're zooming out a bit. Again, this is at Mobile Bay. Let's see. Sometimes can be a bit difficult to control. This is a line of storms that has multiple embedded circulations. And again, this is your tornado warning, this red box that we've got right in through here. On the north side, that does go all the way up to Interstate 10. And so technically, if you are at the Home Depot, Taco Mama, areas there, at Spanish Fort, Bass Pro, those areas are included in the tornado warning. And the Weather Service is really emphasizing Fairhope, and I can clearly see why. Let's go back over to LD2 and show you this signature is a potentially damaging wind signature. There could be an embedded tornado as well right in through here coming into Fairhope. So Fairhope and Montrose, be in that safe place now. Have a helmet on. I realize that people laugh. The story that I get more than you would know is folks that say, you know, oh, my husband was in the recliner and he wouldn't do anything. Well, I'm telling you, if you're in that recliner, you get up and you put a helmet on. Take shelter now if you're in Fairhope and Montrose, as we have this possible tornado damaging straight line winds potentially coming in from Mobile Bay. This is not going to last very long. You will only be inconvenienced for about 5 or 10 minutes before we're able to give you an all clear. So again, Daphne, Montrose, Fairhope, Alabama Highway 104 over to Silver Hill, be in your safe place now. It looks like the core of this is going to pass a bit to the north of Point Clear, Magnolia Springs, and Foley. But at this point, those areas technically are involved in the tornado warning. And so we want you to be sheltered. Yeah, clearly with this signature, it looks like this is going to be more of an issue for the northern part of this polygon compared to areas further south. So yes, you are under a tornado warning if you're in Foley, Magnolia Springs, or Weeks Bay, but clearly the bigger issues are going to be up here closer to Alabama Highway 104, Robertsdale, Silver Hill, and Fairhope. So be in a safe place, particularly in those zones. But if I'm in Foley, as a course of least regret, you may want to go ahead and take those tornado warning precautions now. Same thing down here at Magnolia Springs. Looks like the issues are going to be a bit to your north, but you technically are included in that tornado warning. And so as a course of least regret, I would go ahead and take those precautions just to be safe as this possible tornado continues to push to the east in Baldwin County. That is a nasty tornado or damaging straight line wind signature coming into areas near Montrose. I want to put out the probe here, Matt, and we can see. Yeah, I would suspect, based on the signature, that those values are probably a little bit higher than what you're seeing there. And again, this is right over Daphne, Montrose, and Fairhope. Really, Montrose and Fairhope are kind of in that core zone. That actually may be a secondary circulation developing right in through here at Clay City as well. That's a smaller circulation, but areas near Summerdale and Silver Hill. This is Silver Hill up here, and neighborhood right there called Sonoma Ridge, a fairly newer neighborhood comparatively speaking. You've also got Marlow, which is right here, high wind right now at Marlow, but clearly the highest concern is up here at Montrose and Fairhope. We have a possible tornado. It is raining like cats and dogs. There's no doubt about it in this area as we continue to watch this cell, or really this line of storms, I should say, come in from the west. By the way, let me say this real quick. For folks up here at Pritchard, Saraland, Satsuma, and Chickasaw, tornado all clear. All clear from the imminent tornado threat at Pritchard, Chickasaw, Satsuma, Saraland, and the campus of the University of Mobile. You are done. The threat is now to your east. This is specifically an issue for Baldwin County, Alabama, but I just wanted to give a quick tornado all clear to the folks in Mobile County. And by the way, looking at this, we can give a severe weather all clear to the entirety of Mobile County. So you are now behind the advancing line of storms, and all of Mobile County, if you're in Mobile County, you get an all clear at this point. But again, the threat has shifted into southern Baldwin County, and it's going to be out here on Alabama Highway 104. Silver Hill, you need to be in a safe place now. This is now shifting out of Montrose and Fairhope, and it's coming up on Silver Hill and Robertsdale. There's a Marathon gas station that's right here on the west side of Silver Hill. If you live within 5 miles of that Marathon gas station, you'd be in a safe place as we have a possible tornado coming in from the west. This is coming into Robertsdale as well, and that thing is moving. It's moving very quickly. This is now at or near that Marathon gas station on 104, coming into Robertsdale over the next 5 minutes. So we encourage you to be in a safe place now if you're near there. And we got a new update on the polygon. Point Clear, specifically, just Point Clear, nobody else, will give you a tornado all clear. So Point Clear, Grand Hotel, which is right here, all clear. Everyone else, you're still involved. Same thing at Fairhope, same thing at Daphne, same thing at Loxley and areas near Steelwood. You're involved in the tornado warning as well. Alberta, Elsinore, you also are involved in this tornado warning. And it looks like the core of this is going to be right in through here in the middle part of the polygon, coming into Silver Hill and Robertsdale over the next few minutes. Matt, have you seen anything in the way of damage or any reports? I have not either. I want to zoom in specifically on the northern side of this. Technically, Spanish Fort, part of Spanish Fort is involved in the tornado warning polygon, but clearly the threat is to the south, and that is a mean damaging straight line wind signature. This has evolved, and could there be some circulations in through here? Yes, but clearly this is now a damaging straight line wind signature with this storm coming into Robertsdale, and the Weather Service has just sent out a cancellation message. They are canceling the severe thunderstorm warning back here for Mobile County. So again, we gave an all clear to Mobile County a bit ago, but again, the severe thunderstorm warning for Mobile County has just been canceled. Same thing at Dauphin Island. You're fine at this point. The line of storms is in Baldwin County. Let me kind of work the periphery of this for one moment, because I do want to focus on the Alabama beaches. If you're in Gulf Shores, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning down here south of US Highway 98 for Gulf Shores, Gulf Highlands, and Orange Beach. You have straight line winds coming in from the west, up to 50 or 60 miles an hour. In fact, they just canceled that. So this is now weakened. You may have 40 or 50 mile per hour winds, but the Weather Service believes that clearly the threat is more prominent to the north. So let me kind of zoom out here. What they've done, they've canceled the entire severe thunderstorm warning and replaced it, I say replaced it, they supplemented it with a tornado warning. And at this point, the possible tornado is near Silver Hill and Robertsdale. You know what, that may actually be another circulation developing here coming into Loxley. That's an area we're going to have to watch moving just like that. If I'm in Loxley, you certainly need to be in a tornado safe place now, right now. Don't wait. Don't play with this, as this could be a serious situation coming into Loxley. That could be a developing tornado. I realize to most folks it doesn't look like much, but when you start to see what we call a gate-to-gate looking like that, that could be a developing tornado coming right into Loxley, Alabama. And you continue to be involved in a tornado warning in that zone. I suspect, Matt, there's probably going to be some damage in through here. It's early in the process. Normally, when a tornado happens, it takes a little bit of time to be able to get in the damage reports. So just because we're not reporting on it yet doesn't mean it hasn't happened. And so what that means is if you're in Daphne, Fairhope, Robertsdale, Loxley, Malbus, Summerdale, even down to Foley, technically you're involved in this tornado warning. And this is a situation where you want to respect it. Yeah, that thing has really pumped up over the last few moments there in coming into Loxley. Let me loop this and kind of see exactly what I'm seeing here. Yeah, we're really going to have to watch that as it comes to the east. So it's moving maybe a little bit to the north of due east. You would call that, in nerd terms, about 85 degrees. That's moving a little bit to the north of due east, just like that. And it's coming into Loxley. No travel right now, no travel on Alabama Highway 59 extending from Stapleton right there at the water tower and the Tom Thumb gas station all the way back down to Foley. And let me just zoom in on the southern part of this polygon. Yes, you technically are under a tornado warning in Weeks Bay, in Magnolia Springs, in Foley, in Alberta. But clearly the bigger threat is to your north. So just giving you some peace of mind, yes, if I'm you and I'm in Foley, I'm taking those tornado warning precautions, but I'm also breathing a little bit better as it looks like the threat is clearly going to be passing to your north in terms of the imminent tornado threat. There could be damaging straight line winds with this, but I imagine that over the next little bit, the Weather Service is probably going to transition this to a severe thunderstorm warning. There's really not, any area of discrete rotation in through here. And by the way, for those of you that are just now tuning in as of 9:48 a.m., this is the only game in town. This is the only warning that we've got on the board. And you can see that we really ramped up in a hurry. This is a low-end severe weather risk day. Not everyone, in fact, most of us won't have severe weather on this Thursday. But sometimes in these low-end marginal risk situations, you'll get one or two tornado warnings, exactly like what we've seen today. That's why it's called a low-end risk. In fact, let's see, Matt, if we can pop on the convective outlook. Yeah, there we go. If you'll go back over to LD1 and show that, I realize when a lot of folks see this map, they think, oh, nothing to worry about. But on these low-end risk days, when we show a darker shade of green on the convective outlook, you get exactly like what we've got going on in terms of a tornado warning. Back over to LD1, please, sir, or excuse me, LD2. And there we go, one tornado warning left. And it's prudent at this point for me to be able to give you an all clear if you are in Daphne, Montrose, Fairhope, Clay City, Marlow, Point Clear, Barnwell, Magnolia Springs, Foley. What they've done, they've trimmed out the southern part of this polygon, just as I was explaining a second ago. So we can give you a tornado all clear along US Highway 98 in Foley, Alberta, Magnolia Springs, Barnwell, Point Clear, Fairhope, Montrose, and Daphne. You are now behind the imminent tornado threat, and I'm giving you an all clear. So let me say that one more time for folks who just may be joining us as of 9:50 a.m. Daphne, Fairhope, Montrose, Point Clear, Barnwell, Magnolia Springs, Foley, also Alberta. If you're in Alberta, all clear for you. So all clear for the communities that I just called out in Baldwin County. Clearly the threat has now shifted a bit to the northeast. Loxley, stay sheltered. So let's kind of talk about that a bit. If you are in these communities that I call out, you need to stay sheltered. Loxley, Elsinore, Robertsdale, if you live near the Buc-ee's, the big new gas station. I say new, it's been here, 2 or 3 years at this point, but you know where I'm talking about on Interstate 10. If you live near Buc-ee's or the Derailed Diner, which is the next exit over, you need to be in that tornado safe place. You're still involved in this tornado warning. near Buc-ee's and also near the D-Rail Diner, Elsinore, Loxley, Robertsdale, and Steelwood Country Club. Be in a safe place now as we have potentially some damaging straight line winds coming in. This has clearly shifted now, and this is a damaging straight line wind signature moving like that. The Weather Service is going to maintain this tornado warning to kind of account for that. They're not going to necessarily reissue a new severe thunderstorm warning to kind of, handle the difference. It really doesn't matter. If it causes damage, it's a big deal. But clearly this is moving like this. And on that trajectory, let's talk about who would be involved next if we see a new severe thunderstorm warning. And I would not be surprised if we do. Again, talking about who's next, Seminole, Alabama, Gateswood, you would be next. If it holds its strength, and this is kind of a ways out, but Molino and Barno Park, you would be next in terms of getting a new warning, and I suspect it will be a severe thunderstorm warning. And one thing that I need to mention as well, for those of you that rely exclusively on NOAA weather radio alerts, right now our local National Weather Service office is in the process of doing what we call a software upgrade. And over the last few days, the weather radio alerts, I should say, have not worked. And that schedule has been on the books for months. And unfortunately, because of the federal government, our local National Weather Service office had nothing to do with the scheduling, but they can't change it. So again, we're tracking this cell. If you know someone out in Baldwin County near Buc-ee's or Loxley or Gateswood, you need to call them and let them know some rough weather could be on the way. Some of those communities like Gateswood and Barno Park that I just called out are not officially under a warning yet, but they may go under another separate warning, potentially a severe thunderstorm warning, shortly. So let's check on the velocity. Yeah, that is a mean straight line wind signature. We're talking 80-mile-per-hour winds being possible now in Baldwin County, right in through there. That's something you don't really see very often. Matt, if you will take the box out for a second, I want to zoom in on this and do a probe so we can see exactly what we're looking at. Look at that. Now, I realize it says negative 80, but just take the negative off. 80-mile-per-hour winds coming into Robertsdale and Loxley. So that certainly could be a damaging storm coming into Loxley and Robertsdale, along with Rossington. All right, same thing out there at Buc-ee's in Baldwin County. No travel right now, and I can't emphasize that enough. No travel right now on Alabama Highway 59, extending from the interstate back down to Alabama Highway 104 at Robertsdale. 80-mile-per-hour winds about to cross 59 coming out here toward Rossington. Be in a safe place. It can't be stressed enough. If you know someone that would be at Rossington, Loxley, or Robertsdale at this point, you need to call them, text them, tag them, let them know that we could have likely 80-mile-per-hour winds coming in over the next few minutes. So a very dangerous storm that could be producing potentially at this point a tornado. I'm getting a report from the Weather Service that this storm produced 67-mile-per-hour wind gusts as it was coming through Fairhope. All right, back right there. So let's zoom in on that area. This came through Fairhope. I wouldn't be shocked if at that point it was producing a brief tornado, but nonetheless, whether it's a tornado or damaging straight line winds, it really doesn't matter too much, as we have now confirmed upwards of 70-mile-per-hour winds. Wouldn't be shocked if that did some damage. The reason we know that is there was a sensor, a weather station down at Fairhope that reported a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust now about 20 minutes ago. And again, the Weather Service is maintaining the tornado warning for parts of central Baldwin County. Tell you what, let's kind of do a reset here. Let's go back over to LD1, please. And it is coming up on 10 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, joined alongside Matthew Morgan here with us this morning. And we have a tornado warning for parts of Baldwin County, specifically for Robertsdale, Loxley, Steelwood Country Club, and also areas near Elsinore. You need to be sheltered now, as in addition to the tornado threat, we could have 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts over the next few moments. Those are the areas involved. This has come through Mobile County as a strong storm, southwest Baldwin County near Fairhope and Montrose, along with Weeks Bay as a severe storm, and now this could be producing a tornado or even 80-mile-per-hour damaging straight line winds. So again, watching this situation in Baldwin County with vehement intent. Very serious situation at Robertsdale and Loxley. Let's go back over to LD2, please, sir. And if you'll take the box down for a moment, I really want to zoom in here and see this data, because in addition to the tornado threat, we're now looking at a situation where we could have 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts coming on really the back side of this leading edge of the storms. Here's your leading edge of the storms moving like that. And it looks like there's a bit of a large, potentially remnant, what's left of the mesocyclone that's inducing that 80 mile per hour wind threat right in through here at Robertsdale. I'll put the probe out and show you. Look at that. 80 mile per hour winds right there in areas like Robertsdale and Alabama Highway 59. We'll cancel that and kind of zoom in a bit. 70 mile per hour winds, 80 mile per hour winds according to the radar. You go up here toward the interstate, you still may have some gusty winds, but it's not nearly as bad. Same thing down here at Summerdale, 50, 60 mile per hour winds possible with these storms as they continue to advance east, and that really could be knocking down some trees on the north side, particularly of Robertsdale. So it can't be stressed enough, if you're in Robertsdale, you need to be sheltered now, as we have damaging straight line winds in addition to a potential tornado in this area. Right there is going to be your core zone. And again, that really is on the back side of the storms. Let's go down into southern Baldwin County. I know we've got a lot of folks down here who watch our coverage regularly, and we certainly appreciate that. Nasty storms coming through Gulf Shores. You're fine, all right? Not severe, most likely. Same thing at Orange Beach. The weather is about to get pretty nasty at Orange Beach, but it's not severe. We do not see anything that would suggest an imminent tornado threat at the Alabama beaches. Same thing if you're watching in Northwest Florida. You're fine right now. No issues at the moment anyway in Northwest Florida. And y'all know the drill. If I go silent, please bear with me. We're gonna zoom out and show you a wide view across the region. A good bit of rain moving across the region, but the only warning that we've got at the moment is this tornado warning. Technically a tornado warning for central Baldwin County. Yeah, and they're going to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning shortly. That has not come on the board just yet. And that's going to be for part of Baldwin and Escambia, Florida. So Baldwin County, Alabama, and Escambia County, Florida. You're about to get a new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be in effect until most likely 11 o'clock. And that's going to include Molino, Barano Park, Muskogee, Seminole, and we'll see if they decide to extend that downwind into Escambia County, Florida, or Santa Rosa County. I can just about say with certainty they're going to include Escambia, Florida, and yeah, we now have it. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. So this is going to include the Alabama beaches. So the storms that I just said were not severe in the southern part of Baldwin County. With this new update, the Weather Service is declaring that these storms are now severe and capable of producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So first thing we need to do is tell you exactly who's involved in this. First thing to note, this is not a tornado warning. And I think this is the right call. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, and clearly the bigger threat is going to be on the northern side of this warning. So what that means, you're going to have some rough weather in Pensacola, near NAS Pensacola and Orange Beach. But clearly the greater concern is a bit to the north with this new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 10:45 a.m. And this is going to include a part of Escambia County, Florida, along with Pace, 5 Points, and Garson Point in Santa Rosa County, Florida as well. Matt, I'm switching this source here to pull up what we've got going on here. They're keeping the tornado warning going for now, but I suspect that at 10:15 that's going to go off the board. So Matt, if you'll take me back over please to LD1. There we go. There's the traditional reflectivity view. And if you'll put me in the box, please, sir. There we go. I want to tell you exactly who's involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning that's valid until 10:45. All of the Pensacola Metro, no matter where you are in Pensacola, you're now involved in a severe thunderstorm warning. That means that you need to be inside. You don't need to be driving at this point. Same thing at Gulf Breeze. If you're at Gulf Breeze or Pensacola Beach, you're involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning as well. Molino, Pace, 5 Points, Wallace, Florida, not Wallace, Alabama, but Wallace, Florida. Also areas near Garson Point, Car City, Gonzales, Quintet, Molino. You're involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning as well. Could have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts specifically up here on the northern side of this, right there, coming into Cantonment over the next few minutes. And again, this is not a tornado warning. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado threat appears to be kind of winding down, and so that's a good thing. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning, and we could have upwards of 60 to 70, maybe 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts on the northern side of this polygon that goes all the way up to McDavid. So if you're at McDavid on 29, Highway 29, all the way down to Pensacola, that whole stretch of Highway 29 is involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning, and we need you to be inside. This is not a tornado warning, so you don't have to take your tornado warning precautions. I see we've got a new polygon update here, and we can give out some more all clears from the tornado warning. So if I call you out, all clear from the tornado warning. Robertsdale, Summerdale, Foley that was previously cleared, areas near Malbus. We can now clear Malbus and Bell Forest from the tornado warning, all right? So all clear from the imminent tornado threat in Malbus, Robertsdale, Summerdale. Let's see if, Matt, go back over to LD2, please, sir. Yeah, we can go ahead and clear Loxley as well. Even though Loxley technically is involved in the polygon, you're back behind that area of damaging straight line winds. And I tell you what, that is going to really come up over the next few minutes on Buc-ee's in Baldwin County. If you know where the Buc-ee's gas station is, same thing at the next exit, which is the, if I'm not mistaken, the Wilcox Road exit. That's out there near the Derailed Diner. And there's a fireworks stand out there. So if you're near Buc-ee's, the fireworks stand off Interstate 10, Derailed Diner, you need to be in a safe place, as we have some very damaging wind gusts coming in from the west. Again, what the Weather Service has done, they've replaced the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning that's on the board until 10:45 that technically does now include Orange Beach. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning for Orange Beach, Olno Island, Perdido Key. Also areas near NAS Pensacola could have gusty winds. In the southern part of this polygon, I think it's going to be more like 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, which still can be damaging, but clearly the greater concerns are up here in the northern part of the polygon near Interstate 10. And so we certainly are encouraging no driving at this point on Interstate 10 between Loxley all the way back over to Milton. No driving at this point on Interstate 10. What I'm going to do is look at a few other sources here. And Matt, have you seen anything in the way of damage? You haven't, okay. That's good news. I suspect with what we saw earlier that there probably is some wind damage in through here in central Baldwin County. But so far, we have not had specific reports. All right, so again, we're tracking this severe warning storm that technically still has a tornado warning in effect for parts of central Baldwin County. We'll zoom in on the Alabama beaches, and this has now come through Gulf Shores. So Gulf Shores, all clear. All clear for Gulf Shores. The severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for Orange Beach as well. And the roughest of the weather all day happening now at Orange Beach, near Canal Road, near the wharf, near Mifflin, all the way up to Alberta. And this is really the part of the storm that's going to be coming through the Pensacola Metro, like that. And we could have 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts in that part of the storm, but I'm more concerned about the northern part of this storm that is moving through central Baldwin County now. Getting some reports of damage at this point in Baldwin County. I'm just reviewing some of that. If you'll put me in the box, please. We're getting a report that we've had multiple houses with roofs blown off. And apparently that happened near Fairhope. All right, so a viewer report of multiple roofs being blown off houses in Baldwin County. This would have been about 30 minutes ago now when the storm was coming through Fairhope and Daphne. And again, we'll get to the damage. Let's go back to our severe thunderstorm warning because this is the same part of the storm right in through here that caused the damage. And it's coming up on US Highway 29 in Escambia County, Florida. And again, I'm more concerned about the northern part of this than I am the southern part. So again, this is really the zone that I'm most concerned about over the next few minutes. Seminole up to Gateswood, right there on Interstate 10. You are in that core danger zone. And on radar, it's kind of an interesting signature because it really doesn't have that classic squall line look. But nonetheless, there's damage happening because of this. It doesn't matter how it looks on radar. If it's causing damage, we got problems. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning continues now for Seminole, Lillian, Orange Beach, Perdido Key, NAS Pensacola, all of the Pensacola Metro, every bit of the Pensacola Metro. You're involved in this severe thunderstorm warning. And in the next few minutes, the Weather Service is going to probably let the tornado warning go if they haven't already. Let me look and see about that. By the way, thanks so much to everyone for watching our coverage. We know you have a choice, and we appreciate you choosing us. Obviously, our Red Zone Weather sponsors, the folks that are in the top right-hand part of your screen, those logos that circle by, those are the good folks who make our coverage possible each and every time. And we've had a lot of active weather over the last few days, and we certainly appreciate our wonderful Red Zone Weather sponsors. We want you to support our sponsors, and the way you do that, call them up, let them know that you want to use their services. Just got a report that we have a funnel cloud that has been spotted along the leading edge of these storms. And that doesn't surprise me. With that said, we're transitioning to more of a damaging straight line wind look. And where you see these hot colors, this hot pink right in through here, that's the area I'm most concerned about. And that clearly is moving to the east. And so on that trajectory, I would bet that most of that moves a bit to the north of the Pensacola metro, which would be a good thing, but nonetheless, this continues to be a severe thunderstorm warning for these areas in orange. Tornado warning technically continues for parts of Baldwin County, for Elsinore specifically, over the next few minutes. But again, this is clearly more of a damaging straight line wind threat right in through here, moving like that. And folks in Seminole, it can't be stressed enough. You need to be in your tornado safe place. Even though you're technically outside of that tornado warning in Seminole, you are under the severe thunderstorm warning, and you're going to go through the worst part of this storm. If you're at Seminole, Alabama, right across the river there, the Perdido River at Beulah, you would be next in line. Same thing at Cantonment, out by the paper mill, right there on Highway 29. Those areas also are going to take the brunt of this on the north side of the Pensacola metro. And I believe that the Weather Service may have, they have pulled the trigger and they have officially expired the tornado warning. And so that officially is going to go off the board in the next few minutes. And so what we're left with is this line of storms. It does appear to be weakening slightly, but I want to be careful in saying that because there is still some potential that we could have some wind damage with this over the next few minutes. All right, getting a viewer report. I never know if I should say viewer names, and so forgive me, I'm not, out of respect for privacy, but got a viewer report that this person lives close to Loxley and Silver Hill. A lot of wind and rain, big branches or limbs, tree limbs hitting the roof, and electricity flickered, but the worst seems to have passed. And that certainly lines up with what you're seeing on radar here as we continue to track these storms in parts of Baldwin County, Alabama, and coming into Escambia County and ultimately Santa Rosa County in northwest Florida. What is that? Here, pass it along. Okay, great. Yeah, that's good. Getting a report of a power outage in central, thank you for that report, Matt. Power outage in Robertsdale. So certainly something you don't want to see, but power is being reported out at Robertsdale behind this line of storms that continues to advance to the east. The reason we are here, normally we are not live in severe thunderstorm warnings, which is clearly what this threat is shifting to. But the reason we're here, we technically still have this tornado warning on the board for Baldwin County. And as long as we have a tornado warning, we're going to be live. And so, again, for folks in central Baldwin County, technically the storm has now gone out of the tornado warning polygon, but we've got a minute and a half left, and then we'll be able to give a total tornado all clear. Can't do that just yet. Let's respect this tornado warning polygon that continues to be in effect, but we will be able to do that most likely in about 1 minute. So let's talk about what's next, because these storms are crossing into northwest Florida. And yes, they are a bit weaker than they once were, which is excellent news. You still may have some wind damage across parts of the Pensacola metro. That is a possibility, but again, the storms do seem to be on a weakening trend, so that certainly is good news. Maybe up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. That may kind of be getting questionable at this point, maybe 40 to 50-mile-per-hour winds. But look, no matter how strong the wind is, if it affects you and causes property damage, it's a big deal. And so what I can tell you, Pensacola, no matter where you are in the Pensacola metro, same thing across the bay, across the bridge at Gulf Breeze and Oriole Beach and Pensacola Beach, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45, and you need to be inside. All right, this is not a tornado warning. You don't need to take tornado warning precautions necessarily, but I would be inside, and I wouldn't be driving in this mess. It's just not good to be out driving in it. Getting a damage report. We got trees down. This is from an emergency manager in Baldwin County. Baldwin County Sheriff's Office is reporting trees down on County Highway 54. Very near, let's see, Belforest Cemetery Road and Austin Road. So that would be up here in the northern part of the polygon. Before we talk about that damage, let me stress this real quick. the tornado warning has officially expired. So we are now without a tornado warning. The tornado warning has expired. So just to be clear, there is no more imminent tornado threat across South Alabama or Northwest Florida at this point. It has been replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is not a tornado warning at this point. So, Robertsdale, Summerdale, Foley, Stapleton, Loxley, Elsinore, all clear. You're done with the severe weather threat at this point. Could there be more storms later? Yes, that is a possibility. But the good news is the tornado warning has been allowed to expire as of 10:15 a.m. So let's go back over to LD2 as we kind of wrap things up. These storms are weakening just a bit, which is good news. There we go. Yeah, you're good. Thank you. Storms right now near the Perdido River are producing 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts as they cross into Northwest Florida. But the good news is storms appear to be weakening somewhat, getting several reports of downed trees and power lines in parts of Baldwin County behind this advancing line of storms. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. You need to respect it. Even though this is not a tornado warning, take this seriously. Don't be driving unless you absolutely have to. And understand there may be some gusty winds over the next little bit in parts of the Pensacola metro as these storms continue to push through. We'll show you a wide view across the region. This is a complex of storms that right now only severe near eastern Baldwin County coming into Escambia County, Florida. Everything else, however, in southwest Alabama in places like Bruton, Monroeville, Evergreen, Greenville, Beatrice, all those areas are under severe limits at this time. This is the concern down here in northwest Florida, near Muskogee specifically, in Seminole, on the backside of the leading edge of these storms. And again, we stress, please don't be driving unless you absolutely have to in parts of Baldwin County still under this severe thunderstorm warning. By the way, the worst of the weather is now through Orange Beach. So worst of the weather through Orange Beach proper. The storm really is right now at Ono Island and the Floribama. So if you know where the Floribama is or Ono Island, this is the worst of the weather most likely all day. So could have gusty winds over the next few moments near Perdido Key, near the Floribama, near Innerarity Point, Ono Island, even Bear Point in Orange Beach, still having some pretty rough weather. But back here near Cotton Bayou and the Wharf, the threat has now clearly shifted a bit to the east. NAS Pensacola, you've got rough weather on the way, gusty winds up to 40 or 50 miles per hour, maybe even 60 miles per hour, possible over the next few minutes. Same thing on the western side of the Pensacola metro, could have gusty winds as this band of storms comes through just like that. We'll be watching these storms very carefully over the next few minutes. Before we leave you, let me make sure we're not going to get another tornado warning. Yeah, no, all of this just appears to be some gusty winds in these storms. Again, I'm most concerned about this part of the storm up here near Seminole that's going to come into Cantonment over the next few minutes. So if you're at Cantonment, be inside, don't be driving. This is not a tornado warning. This is specifically a severe thunderstorm warning. And another thing to keep in mind, the threat today, let's go back over to LD1. We continue to be involved in a low-end level 1 out of 5 severe weather risk. And what has happened over the last hour is, quite frankly, just quintessential of what happens sometimes in these threats. You'll get 1 or 2 storms that briefly ramp up and become severe, and everybody else is okay. So that's exactly what's happened as we conclude back over to LB2. Storms are going to cross through the Pensacola metro and ultimately end up in Santa Rosa County over the next hour or so. Could have maybe 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but the tornado threat, let me be clear, the tornado threat has come to a close. And we will continue to watch storms over the next little bit as this band of storms continues to come through northwest Florida. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm Spinks Meganson with Matt Morgan saying goodbye for now. Updates coming shortly in the Red Zone Weather app.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.